beautiful beings. Welcome to this lovely practice today. Every now and then I love to just offer a kind of spring clean practice to just flow and get into all the little nooks and crannies of the body to open and brighten and invite a sense of lightness of being into our whole body, mind, instrument. So I hope you enjoy, and you won't need any props today, but if you know that you feel a little bit tighter through the backs of the legs and you have some yoga blocks, then keep them nearby towards the top of your mat. And let's get started. We'll start in a child's pose today. So let's have the knees about hip width distance and settle the hips back towards the heels. Drape the torso over the legs and rest the forehead toward earth. Arms reaching forward. And for me, this pose, this shape, always reminds me of a seed. A small seed filled with potential and possibility. So as we arrive breath by breath, moment to moment, we might water the seedling that we are, or the seed that we are, with an intention today. So you might contemplate why you came to practice today, what you are growing towards, what resonates, what offers you a sense of lightness or brightness, or allows you to blossom fully. And on your next in-breath, let's rise from child's pose to all fours. And as we do this, we'll lift the sit bones, drape the belly, offer the heart forward, cow pose, just a sweet little back bend. And then we'll exhale and curl through the spine, round, release the head and the neck, curl the tail under, and slide the hips back towards child's pose, our seed-like shape. And let's just repeat this a handful of times with the breath. And because the practice is inspired by spring and blossoming open, you might just invite the inhalations to be a little fuller, noticing that the inhalation has the quality of awakening, enlivening, opening, invigorating. And you might choose to stay with this movement, or if you like, after the next time you return to child's pose, you might rise to all fours and continue to glide forward, shift the weight into the hands, melt the front of the pelvis forward and down, and just come into a really soft, relaxed, upward facing dog. And then as we exhale, we press to all fours, round through cat pose and hips to heels, child's pose once again. I'm repeating this a handful of times too. Just find your own rhythm. Each movement, each breath inviting space, warmth, and opening and unfolding into the body, beneath the skin. And hopefully with this gentle, repetitive movement, there's not too much to concentrate on or think about, so we can just melt a little bit out of the mind and inhabit more and more the body. We'll do one more cycle of whatever movement you're enjoying right now and meet back to a child's pose for a moment. Take a breath. And then rising to all fours. Let's tuck the toes under, walk the hands back to the knees, sit the hips on the heels and come upright and just find this release for the soles of the feet. If it's helpful for you, you can think about it like opening the soles of the feet so we can grow beautiful, healthy roots down into earth, creating stability and steadiness. And whenever it becomes too intense, you can always lean the weight forward or stand up on the shins. So let's take 5 breaths here now with the shoulders. So we'll inhale, roll the shoulders forward and up. And exhale, drop the shoulders back and down. And you might even open the mouth on the exhalation. Inhaling and exhaling. 3 more. Last one. Lovely. Let's bring hands to mat. Lift the knees, lift the hips, and come into a forward fold at the back of the mat. And just let the head be heavy and droop towards earth. Crown of head just opening towards earth, and any stickiness, stuckness, rigidity, tightness, stagnancy coming out of the body with each exhalation. Allowing the exhalation to sigh out of the mouth whenever you need. Lovely. Let's bend the knees, sit the hips back and down a little. Reach the arms, Utkatasana, chair pose. And then exhale, fold forward again. Inhale, bend the knees, hips back and down. Reach upwards, sprout upwards. And exhale, fold. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. And last one, inhale. Let's stay here now for the exhale. Take another in-breath. And on the exhale, let's release the arms. Reach the arms down behind you. Interlace the hands. Reach the knuckles back and down. And just feel like the front of the chest is sort of bursting open into bloom here as we breathe into the space under the collarbones. And on your next exhalation, when you're ready, let's fold forward and just lift the knuckles diagonally up and back as though they're reaching up and back beyond the tail so that the stem of your neck can stay nice and long. One more in-breath. And on the out-breath, let's release the hands to the mat and we'll just gently walk the hands forward into a down dog and just noticing the texture of the mat beneath the hands and arriving in your first downward facing dog of the practice. And you might move a little bit here, bicycle through the legs or circle the head, nod the head, shake the head. Inviting in whatever intuitively feels like will facilitate circulation, unfolding, opening, awakening, brightening, and warming the body. Okay, let's inhale, raise the right leg up, three-legged dog. And exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. And this might be where you use your yoga blocks. So if you have them and you feel like adding a little bit of height to the hands today, you might place them either side of the front foot, otherwise hands on the mat. And then we'll inhale and just lengthen the spine forward as we reach back through that back foot. And then exhale, start to straighten into the front leg and bow over the front leg any amount. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, lower the back knee. Inhale to lift the back knee. Exhale to straighten into the front leg. Inhale, rebend into the front knee. And exhale, lower the back knee. Now we'll stay here, but inhale, blossom upwards, lift the torso, reach the arms up, coming up into Anjali Asana, anchoring down or rooting down through the back foot so we can blossom up, sprout upwards through the spinal column, through the arms. Take a full breath in, breathing all the way into your fingertips. And on the exhale, let's come into Garudasana arms today. So crossing left arm over right arm, bend the elbows. You might cross the forearms, backs of hands together, or palms of hands together. And wherever you are, a little lift of the fingertips to the ceiling and a squeeze of the forearms towards one another. Take another in-breath. And on the out breath, we'll release, hands to prayer, turn to the right, left elbow to right knee. So a little bit of all the spinal movements today. Forward folding, twisting, back bending, and side bending too. And last breath, you might keep the back knee on the mat or curl the back toes under. Lift the back knee up. Take a final inhale. And on the exhale, we'll bring hands to mat or to blocks, and we'll actually step our back foot forward now. Halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen the spine and play with the arms. See where the tendrils of the arms want to float today. Maybe alongside the body, maybe out wide, maybe reaching forward or hands to heart. And on the next exhale, bow forward again. Again, halfway lift, inhale, lengthen, heart forward, exhale, fold. And then we'll rise, inhale, root down through the feet, stems of the legs are strong as you rise up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. So we'll keep flowing a little bit here. Inhale, raise the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, left hand to right wrist, let's lean up and over to the left. Just a little side bend here. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release and switch sides. Inhale, center. Exhale, release, and we'll fold forward again, following the breeze of the exhalation. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. So second down dog of the practice. See what's present now. Inviting full, easy in-breaths into the body. Breathing fresh air into the body, nourishing the body. Another breath. Second side, inhale, raise the left leg up, three-legged dog. And exhale, left foot steps forward. Find your blocks if you're using them. Inhale, lovely deep bend through the front knee, chest forward, back leg strong. And again, exhale, straightening the front leg any amount as we bow. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, lower the back knee. Inhale to lift the back knee. Exhale, straightening into the front leg. Inhale, rebend. And exhale to lower the back knee. Last time. Blossom upwards, grow upwards. Inhale, reach up. Pause a moment here. Find steadiness. And letting each shape today, as much as possible, be filled with sense of effortlessness and ease. Gracious. Just maybe like a spring blossom, unfolding inevitably, effortlessly, easefully. And then let's cross right arm on top of left arm, bend the elbows, cross the forearms, backs of hands or palms of hands together, and squeeze the forearms together as you lift the elbows away from the chest. You can lift the chin a little here too. Breathing, spacious back of heart here. And then let's release, palms of hand together and twist the other way to the left. Right elbow outside, left knee. Another breath or two here, and you might curl the back toes and lift the back knee up. And on the next exhalation, let's unwind. Hands to mat, and we'll step the back foot all the way forward again. Take a moment here. Let the head drop. And then when you're ready, you might wiggle the feet out a little wider, turn the toes out, bend the knees, sit the hips down, and just find a soft malasana. And that might mean if you have a block that you sit the sitting bones on the block. It might mean that you balance on the balls of the feet, heels lifted, depending on the anatomy of your ankle joint, right? Some of us will have heels lifted in malasana. And as we stay here for a couple more breaths, you might imagine, or it might be helpful to imagine your pelvis like a beautiful terracotta pot, anchoring you downward, keeping you steady and stable, and allowing the spine to grow effortlessly upwards, blossoming upwards through the crown of the head. And on the next exhale, let's lift the hips and fold forward. This time we'll soften the knees and slowly, sweetly start to roll vertebra by vertebra, rolling up each segment of the spine, unfurling like a beautiful fern in the forest. And when you arrive at the top, you might roll the shoulders up and back and down and settle here, standing tall. Maybe you return to the seed that you planted at the beginning of practice, your intention, your reason for coming to practice today. Okay, let's take a standing balance before we begin to close. So hands to heart center, a little bend of the knees, hips back and down, baby Utkatasana. And let's pull the weight over into the left foot. Pick up the right foot, outer right ankle to top of left thigh. And then we'll bring the hands to the hips here again, feeling that basin or that pot beneath the hands of the pelvis. And then allow the sitting bones to reach evenly back. So sit bones anchoring, growing evenly back through space. And you'll feel the position of your pot beneath your hands. Sometimes there's a tendency for the left hip to swing outwards. So maybe hugging the outer left hip in, sit bones evenly reaching back. And then let's play with the arms here. So you might open the arms wide, lean forward. Maybe you'd like to take another interlace of the hands behind you, or fingertips to floor, arms reaching, growing upwards towards the sunlight. Last breath. And then we'll exhale and release and fold forward. Take rest here. Then bend the knees and we'll do the same thing just one more time. Slowly rolling up the spine. Unfurling. And as we roll up each segment of the spine, I like to imagine this movement nourishing, moisturizing the intervertebral discs between the spine. So they stay nice and plump and full and juicy. Okay, last time, second side, standing balance, little sit of the hips back and down. And let's play. Shift the weight into the right foot, pick up left foot. Hips back and down. Hands to your pot plant. And you'll notice that if the sitting bones grow evenly, back and down, that affects the position of the spine, actually. And from there we can grow and play with the tendrils of our arms. One or two more breaths, just wherever you are. Remember, everything that you are practicing today is just inviting gentle growth and unfolding. Right, so if anything doesn't feel conducive to that, leave it out. And then let's release, slide the foot off the leg, release and fold forward. And one more time, halfway lift. Inhale, float your arms, your branches, and as you exhale, anchor the hands, and we'll step back for one more. Downward facing dog. The stem of your spine suspended between your upper and lower limbs. And we'll gently lower the knees to the mat and take a moment to send the hips back towards the heels. You might separate the elbows, stack the hands and rest the forehead on the backs of the hands this time. Or choose to become even more seed-like with the arms reaching alongside the body, palms facing upwards. And taking these last few moments to acknowledge your practice. And to acknowledge this unique manifestation that is you. Just like a beautiful spring blossom. So unique. Filled with promise. Filled with possibility. Let's gently rise from the child's pose now and take a deep breath in. And as we do so, we'll reach the arms wide and up towards the sun. Even if there are clouds, it's somewhere up there. And exhale, gather the hands and draw them down through heart center. Peace, peace, peace. Thanks for practicing all the way to the end. Every practice I offer is possible thanks to the support of my patrons. So if you'd like to continue to support me as well as access full-length practices, meditations and pranayama, then sign up on Patreon.